In this video, let's take a look at point-slope form. So first we're going to take a look at writing equations given a point and a slope. So we're going to plug in the x and the y from the point we're given and the slope into y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form, to find our b value. So let's look at two examples of this. Example 1 says write the equation of the line that has a slope of -4. So slope was given to us as -4, and then it goes through the point 3, -6. So the 3 from that point is our x, and the -6 from that point is our y value. And so let me make that look a little bit better. We're going to use these three things to plug into y equals mx plus b to solve for our b value. I'm just going to scoot this over. So y was -6, m was -4, x was 3, and then we're going to solve for b. So let me review that. So -6 was given in the point, so we plugged that in for y. The slope was -4, so we plugged that in for the m. The x was 3, so we plugged that in for the x, and then we're going to solve for b. So then I bring down -6. -4 times 3 would give me -12, and bring down the positive b, or the plus b. And then we just need to get rid of the -12. So let's add 12 to both sides, and we end up with 6 is our b value. And so now we just have to put that together and write it in slope-intercept form. So we write y equals mx plus b, but now we know our slope is -4, and we have our b value, which was 6. So that's all we needed to do to get it into slope-intercept form, given a slope and a point. So let's look at another example of this. So example 2 says write the equation of the line that has a slope of 2/3. So let's write a slope of 2/3 and goes through the point 3, 7. So 3 is the x, where 7 would be the y. So we're going to write out y equals mx plus b, and we're going to plug everything in. So we're going to plug in the y is 7, the m is 2/3, and the x is 3. And then we're going to solve for b. All right, so y is 7, m was 2/3, x was 3, and then bring down the b that we're going to solve for. So 2/3 times 3. 3 is like 3/1. And then the 3's are in the denominator and in the numerator, so they would just cancel each other out. And we could just bring down the 7 equals 2/1, which is just 2, plus the b. And then we just have to finish solving for b, so we can subtract 2, and we get b is equal to 5. And then once again, we have everything we need, so we're just going to write it out in slope-intercept form. So y would equal our slope, which is 2/3. And I'm going to write that straight up and down. So 2/3 x plus 5 was our slope. And that's it. All right, so let's look at another type. What if you're given 2 points? So in this case, given 2 points, we can use what we know to use the slope formula to find the slope first, then use that slope that we find and the point to do what we were just doing in example 1 and 2, to plug it into y equals mx plus b and find our b, and then rewrite the equation that we get. Okay, so let's look at 2 examples of this type. Example 3 says write the equation of the line that passes through 6, -4, and -3, 5. So 6, -4 is going to be my x1, y1, and -3, 5 is going to be the x2, y2. And remember, with our formula, I'm just going to rewrite it as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we can keep it in order. So we're going to do y2 minus y1. So 5 minus -4 in the numerator. And then x2 minus x1. So -3 minus 6 in the denominator. So 5 minus -4 becomes 5 plus 4, because this is like an understood -1 times -4. So that's like 5 plus 4, which will be 9. And then -3 minus 6. So think of -3 is already negative, and then we're subtracting more from it, so it becomes a bigger negative number. So 9 over negative 9 would reduce because any number divided by itself is just 1, but then this will be a negative 1 for our slope. Okay, so then we're going to use that and one of the 2 points we were given. It doesn't matter which one, you can choose which one looks easiest. Like the first one looks okay, so I'm just going to use the 6 is going to be my x and the negative 4 is going to be the y. And then we're going to plug it into the slope-intercept form with our slope. So we're going to say y is negative 4, the slope was negative 1, the x is 6, and then bring down the plus b that we don't know yet, but we can solve for it. So then we get negative 4 equals negative 1 times 6, which is just negative 6 plus b. And then let's add the 6 to both sides. Since it's negative, we need to add. And then negative 4 plus 6 will give us 2 for our b value. I'm going to scoot this up so they're all nicely lined up here. So 2 ended up being our b value. And then we can write out the slope-intercept form again. So y equals mx plus b is our form. And we found the slope using our 2 points. So that's negative 1x. Then the b value is 2. Then you may or may not see that negative 1 written on like a test question. So just be aware that they'll probably write negative x plus 2. But it still means that there's a 1 there. It's just understood. Or a negative 1, I should say. All right, so let's do another one like that one. So we're going to write the equation of the line that passes through the points 2, 7. So that's going to be my x1 and my y1. And 1, negative 4 is going to be x2, y2. So I'm going to rewrite my slope formula to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 and fill everything in. That helps me stay organized. So I have y2 is negative 4 minus y1, which is 7. So negative 4 minus 7 over x2 minus x1. So that's 1 minus 2. And then I just need to clean that up. So negative 4 minus 7 will give me negative 11. And then 1 minus 2 will give me negative 1. And then negative 11 divided by negative 1 will be turned into a positive because 2 negatives, when they're divided, become a positive. So that'll be 11. So my slope is 11. Then I just need to pick one of the 2 points to use. I'm going to pick the first one since those are positive numbers. They look easy. So that'll be my x and my y. And 11 was my slope. So I'm going to fill everything in to help me find the b. So y is 7. And that's equal to my slope, which is 11, my x, which is 2, and then I'm going to solve for b. So then 7 would equal 11 times 2, which is 22, plus b. Then 22 is positive, so I need to subtract it from both sides. And 7 minus 22 would give me negative 15 for my b value. But then I've got my slope and my y-intercept, so I can write it into slope-intercept form. So y would equal 11x minus 15. All right, so that's it for some examples of how to write equations given a point and a slope or given 2 points.